Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Wednesday, November 1st. We have all you need to know about 3 individuals facing felony charges in State College.
We also have updates on the United States' involvement in the Israel-Hamas war, along with entertainment, sports, and weather. Stay tuned.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Olivia Jean.
And I'm Conroy.
As the winter months get closer, Penn State has released this year's procedures for severe winter weather. If classes are canceled, the university has stated that professors may offer content asynchronously, such as recording a lecture or a self-directed learning activity. If a delay or early dismissal is announced, all classes within the delay period or early dismissal period are canceled. The Office of Physical Plant clears sidewalks, parking lots, and roadways as quickly as possible during these circumstances. The best way to stay informed of any delays or cancellations is by using the PSU alert system, Penn State's Twitter account or website, and WPSU radio.
Penn State's Office of Government and Community Relations will add a new member to its team next Wednesday. Julian Morales is currently the Assistant Dean of Admissions and Financial Aid for the College of Law at Penn State. He will step into this new role of Director of Local Government and Community Relations. The Vice President of that role said they are excited to see Morales in the role and continue to build the relationship between the university and the surrounding communities.
With the upcoming municipal election next Tuesday, November 7th, Penn State is reminding students about the importance of voting. Voters will be selecting statewide justices and judges, local county positions, and school board positions. The university wants to remind students that local and state government decisions impact Penn State students. Zoning, apartment regulations, local police, public safety, and public transportation are just some of the many ways students can be impacted. Students can vote in person or via mail-in or absentee ballots. For more information, visit the Penn State Student Affairs website.
3 people are facing felony charges after police say nearly $6,000 was stolen from a skills machine in State College. Jose Reneso, Tiffany Cabrera, and Warner Alvarez Almazar were charged with felony counts of conspiracy and theft, as well as 2 counts of possession following their October 26th arrest. Police say that 3 of them were making an attempt to break into a machine at Smoker Square, which is located on South Atherton Street. Police recognized the suspects from the night before, where they were at a different machine. Bail has been denied for all 3 defendants, and preliminary hearings are scheduled for next Wednesday. State College saw its first snow of the season this morning. Luke Snyder with Campus Weather Service has all the latest details on the continuing dropping temperatures. Take a look.
From the students of the Department of Meteorology and Atmospheric Science, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good evening and happy hump day. I'm student meteorologist Luke Snyder here for your Wednesday evening forecast. Taking a live look at the hub camera, you can see we have a nice mix of sun and clouds going through the sky right now. That's been the trend for much of the day thus far. Looking at the rest of your current conditions, we're staying around 39 degrees with a feels like of 32 due to those strong winds coming in from the northwest. Just above 10 miles per hour, we have a dew point of 25 degrees, so the air is going to be feeling very, very dry as of today. Looking at your current conditions for the rest of the Commonwealth, you can see these cloudy conditions and well below average temperatures are going to be the trend for much of the state. The eastern portion, however, is going to be seeing a little bit more sunshine. You can see Allentown over there, not many clouds in the sky. Speaking of those below average temperatures, you can see the entire state is sitting well below average for their regular temperatures this time of year. State College specifically is around 16 degrees cooler than what we typically see for November 1st. As we expand out into the rest of the eastern coast as well, you can see that trend's going to continue for much of the country. We have a very large cold front moving through the area, bringing a lot of cold air mass. You can see we have multiple places sitting below 20 degrees below average for their temperatures right now. Looking at a radar and satellite recap, you can see we had some snow flurries moving early this morning. I know State College saw some snow quite early this morning around 8 a.m. So it's been very interesting to see that move through the area recently. It's our first snowfall of the season. Looking at some future weather, you can see we have these colder temperatures coming through, dipping well below freezing for almost the entire state later on overnight and into tomorrow morning as well. So tomorrow morning will be a very chilly start yet again. But as temperatures begin to steadily climb, most of Pennsylvania will be sitting well above the 40s, well above freezing actually, and then into the 40s for their high temperatures tomorrow evening. And as we continue through, they'll dip yet again overnight, but not as drastically as we're going to be seeing tonight. And then taking a look at some future weather, you can see we have clear skies for today and tomorrow, and heading into Friday as well. So Friday morning is going to have that last bit of sunshine before these clouds roll on through Friday afternoon into the evening, more hitting the northern portion of Pennsylvania later on Friday evening. And heading into the weekend, you can see that we have clouds coming through almost the entire state as well. Looking to Saturday afternoon, you can see clouds covering much of Pennsylvania, and that's going to continue as well with a few spotty showers here and there throughout this state. Not too much to worry about, however. And looking into Sunday morning to close off the weekend, again, cloudy skies for much of the day, continuing throughout the end of the weekend as well to start off the new work week as well into Monday, with Monday morning, again, having partly cloudy skies, and the beginning of this system coming through later on into the end of the week there. Looking at the rest of today, we're going to be reaching around a high of 41 degrees with mostly cloudy conditions and some pretty gusty winds reaching upwards of 20 miles per hour. And looking at your tonight forecast, reaching a low of 28 degrees with as much frost as is possible for later on this evening, and winds are going to be calming down just a little bit. And looking at your tomorrow, high of 46 with mostly clear skies as those clouds begin to make way out of the Commonwealth, with winds staying calm at around 5 to 10 miles per hour as well. And then taking a look at your 7-day forecast, you can see by Friday these temperatures are expected to be rising as well, hitting the mid-50s for more seasonable conditions. And those clouds are going to roll in over the weekend into Monday as well, with Tuesday, like I mentioned earlier, having that potential showers coming on through later on in the week. From the Penn State Campus Weather Service, I'm Luke Snyder. Have a great night.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Ashley Mascaro with your sports update. Penn State men's soccer clinched the Big Ten regular season title after a 1-1 draw at Wisconsin on Sunday. This is the team's second regular season title in the last 3 years and the fifth in program history. Van Danielson scored the Nittany Lions' lone game-tying goal in the 67th minute. Penn State heads into the Big Ten tournament as the number 2 seed and will host Rutgers on Friday. The Penn State men's tennis team is set to compete at the Big Ten Indoor Championships in Madison, Wisconsin. 8 Nittany Lions will compete in their last fall tournament of the season. Freshman Nolan Ranger and junior Lauren Byers are tied for the team lead with 4 singles wins each, while sophomore Steven Simunovic and junior Harrison Janes have 3 wins each. Play will begin tomorrow, November 2nd, and finish on Sunday, November 5th. The Las Vegas Raiders fired head coach Josh McDaniels and general manager Dave Ziegler late Tuesday night. Offensive coordinator Mick Lombardi was also relieved of his duties Wednesday morning. McDaniels and Ziegler were hired together following the 2021 season with high expectations, but they failed to exceed them and had a 9-16 record through 25 games. Linebackers coach Antonio Pierce has been promoted to interim head coach, while assistant general manager Champ Kelly will be the team's interim general manager. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, who is in his first season with the Raiders, will be benched as rookie quarterback Aiden O'Connell has been announced as the starter moving forward. That's all for your sports update. After the break, Camila Vega has the latest in the world of entertainment. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Camila Vega with your entertainment update. State College's Center Film Festival is in full swing. Back for its 5th year, the festival received over 600 submissions and 40 Pennsylvania films made the cut. Screenings began on October 30th and will be taking place up until November 5th. You can attend both in person and from home with a virtual option. Students are eligible for free passes to any of the festival's events. Check out the full schedule at centerfilm.org. Penn State Students Programming Association will host content creator Brittany Broski for a conversation on Monday, November 6th in the Schwab Auditorium. The content creator rose to fame in 2019 and has 15 million followers across all of her social media platforms. In only 4 years, she created a podcast called The Broski Report, a YouTube interview show, Royal Court, and was featured in Forbes 30 Under 30. Tickets are available on a reservation by Org Central. The past few weeks have been filled with plenty of candy, costumes, cobwebs, with Halloween events happening all around college. Reporter Lily Pergola was on the east side of campus covering one of these events. We'll send it over to her in the studio. Lily?
Thanks, Camila. It was that time of year where children of all ages dressed up, ate tons of candy, and celebrated the holiday Halloween. I had the opportunity to go to the All Sports Museum located at the bottom of Beaver Stadium, where all of Penn State athletics gave back to the community. Let's take a look. The All Sports Museum had its annual trick-or-treat event located outside of Beaver Stadium. This event included student athletes at Penn State handing out tons of candy and interacting with the kids.
One of the key things that Penn State Athletics wants to enable is student-athlete volunteerism with the community. So obviously that's one of the things that we love and respect as well as part of athletics. So this is like one of our key opportunities to contribute to that effort. So by the end of the night, we'll probably have about 200 or more of our student athletes who are out here interacting with families and members of the community, handing out candy and just taking photos and really just generally having a good time with everybody.
Now there's a variety of teams here from baseball, women's softball, gymnastics, and of course our favorite mascot, the Nittany Lion, that came out to see the kids.
Student athletes applaud Penn State Athletics for this event to connect with their fans on a personal level. It has also allowed kids to meet their favorite players, who they cheer for at every game.
I think Penn State Athletics does a great job with bringing a lot of the athletics teams outside into the community. They obviously, all these fans get to see us on the field, but it's even more important to work with us off the field. They get to connect with us and be close with us, and I think it's just a great opportunity for us to connect with them.
In State College, I'm Lily Pergola for Penn State News. Penn State athletes shared how it's important to give back to the community and interact with their fans. Seeing the smiles on children's faces when meeting their idols was a special moment to witness. Back to you, Camila.
Thank you, Lily. Now in some more somber news, Hollywood star Matthew Perry passed away this weekend at age 54. The star made his way into the world of entertainment as part of the show Friends. Perry brought to life the iconic character known and loved as Chandler Bing. For 10 seasons, Chandler Bing made fans laugh with his sarcastic personality. The 5-time Emmy nominee was also a part of the Ron Clark story, The West Wing, 17 Again, and Fools Rush In. In 2022, he released his memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, which was once again topped Amazon's bestsellers list. Matthew Perry's legacy will forever live on. That's all for your entertainment update. Coming up next, interview anchor Nolan Collery will be speaking to Braden Swartout, president of the Penn State Sport Business Conference. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Nolan Collery, and with me tonight is Braden Swartout, president of the Penn State Sports Business Conference. Braden, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
All right, so first, I'd just like a quick rundown. What is the Penn State Sports Business Conference? When is it? What all is involved here?
So we are a student planning team made up of 27 undergraduate students, and we work throughout the year to plan a networking and recruiting event in the spring semester. It usually falls in late March. We actually will be announcing our dates soon for that.
Okay.
So our team is made up of an events, outreach, brand development, sales and sponsorship, and marketing department.
Awesome. So how long have you been involved with the conference?
I joined the conference when I was a sophomore a few years ago. This will be my 3rd year this year, and I've actually had the chance to work at each level of the organization, which has been it's taught me a lot.
Yeah, awesome. So how have you gone from just a normal member of the conference all the way to, the president of the whole thing? What was that process like for you?
So when I began as an event coordinator, I was really just learning the ropes and kind of, gaining traction in the sports industry and really starting to foster my early connections. And as that grew, I met more people in the conference and kind of showcased what I had to offer, and eventually was able to earn director of events and finally president.
That's very impressive, first of all, so congratulations to getting that. I'm very excited to learn more. If people wanted to get involved with the sports conference this year, what is that process like?
So first of all, you could follow us on any of our socials. It's at Penn State SBC. That has all of our information. It'll have when our applications come out, different events that we're doing, and things like that. We also usually take student planning team applications over the summer and during September.
Okay.
So while it might be a little bit too late this year, obviously, next year rolls around and we'll have a brand new planning team full of new students.
Awesome. So the way I've heard of the conference is I've seen that you guys have brought some very impressive guests in. Do you have any, exciting guests planned for this year?
So in the past, we have had Chris Cabot, who's Pat Mahomes' agent, and a few others like Erica Nardini, who works at Barstool. I believe she's the CEO, and even Saquon Barkley.
Wow.
But this year, we're excited to announce that we'll be having Adam Brenneman for an event next Thursday, November 9th, in the Business Building from 5 to 6.
That's very exciting. I'm curious, if you can tell me, of those guests have you had, is there one that really impacted you, or a favorite of yours, or a memory from one of those guest speakers?
I would say one of my favorites was Jim Ivler last year. He works kind of in scouting departments for different NFL teams, and he was here at Penn State's Pro Day during our conference, and he was able to run over. He was scouting for the Eagles, but he came over for an hour last year and gave us a really good talk. So.
That's awesome. So you mentioned Adam Brenneman will be here next week with you guys. In an event you guys are calling the Fall Speaker Series. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so this is a new event that we're just starting this year. It's something that we haven't tried before, but we believe that it's a good chance to get students an opportunity to connect with people in the sports media industry. So we will be having Adam Brenneman and a few members of his company, Mercury, the college sports company, to speak a little bit about his journey and where they believe they're going in this changing landscape of college football.
Awesome. So before we got on, you and I talked a little bit about your other involvement, and you're very actively involved in Thon. And obviously, both Thon being, maybe the biggest student-run organization we have on campus, along with the sports conference itself. Talk to me about the work-life balance that you have a little bit. How do you manage to get all of that done?
Well, I found myself in a position where I am very busy, as you mentioned, and I do things that are very important to me, so I prioritize those as best I can. But it's important to find time to focus on school and other things. So I just try to, really budget out my time and spend my time well. Awesome.
So outside of the guests that you've talked to, because you spoke about that before, do you have any particular memories working with the conference that, you think you'll carry out with you in the future into your career?
One good memory was last year, right after we wrapped up our event. We typically... the team will go out and celebrate, and we were downtown. I think we were going to grab some food, and we actually ran into head coach of the Miami Dolphins, Mike McDaniels.
Wow.
So that was just one of those random things where he was in town for Pro Day, and we happened to meet him.
Talk about a downgrade of weather, going from Miami and during when the weather is beautiful up here. I mean, we love it here. We do what we can.
Oh, yeah.
So you mentioned that applications, they happen earlier in the year. For people who might be interested in getting involved next year, not this coming one, but the next one, what is the application process like?
So the application process is typically just a written application at first, and then we'll bring people in to speak with them and see if they'll be a good fit for our team. We're really trying to find people who not only will do exceptional work, but build strong relationships both with people within the conference and with the professionals that we bring in.
Absolutely. So the next thing that I'm curious again, like I said earlier, we were talking about Thon. Do you think that there's any work in general, this is kind of a big question, in between the sports world, the business world, and this world where we're trying to raise this money for a great cause? How do you see collaboration in that field?
Well, especially here at Penn State, kind of everything really works together to build Thon. So it's the kind of thing where organizations take time out of their own schedules to really focus on Thon and provide support there. So it's just, similar to the work-life balance that we just talked about. You got to find a balance of spending time on your own organization and devoting yourself to something as impactful as Thon.
That's awesome. Last question for you. What do you see yourself doing next year? It's your last year here. You're a senior. What's the plan for the future?
Well, I would like to work in sports. I believe that that's something that's possible through the Penn State Sports Business Conference. I've made a lot of good connections, and I'm looking to follow up with some of those.
Absolutely. Braden, thank you so much for coming in tonight. Talk to me about the Sports Business Conference just a little bit more.
Yeah, of course.
Now stay tuned, because coming up, Olivia and Brendan will have the latest news from across the nation.
As the weeks-long Israel-Hamas war has carried on, the United States is continuing to act. On Friday, the United States expanded its efforts to cut off funding for Hamas, announcing a second round of sanctions against all organizations and people linked to the group. They have reportedly killed more than 1,400 people in Israel. The new sanctions highlight Iran's role in providing financial, logistical, and operational support to Hamas. The sanctions freeze any U.S.-based assets owned or controlled by the Hamas-associated individuals and organizations.
An Illinois man pled not guilty in an indictment by the state jury on Monday. Joseph Kazuba is accused of murder, attempted murder, and hate crime of a Muslim woman and her child. The 71-year-old landlord is charged with the fatal stabbing of a 6-year-old boy, Wadea Al-Fuaime, and the wounding of his mother, Hanan Shaheen, on October 14th. The authorities have said the targeting from the landlord to the tenants was based off their Muslim faith in a response to the war between Israel and Hamas.
We are seeing a major influx in Chinese immigrants coming to the United States. With the assistance of social media, a new and dangerous route that includes 2 months of traveling within 7 countries on plane, bus, and foot has become increasingly popular as a way to step foot inside the United States. Chinese asylum seekers say they are trying to escape an increasingly repressive political climate back home. After COVID, China's economy is still struggling and youth employment is high, with some saying they have lost hope for the future of the country.
A team of Colorado lawyers are seeking to disqualify former President Donald Trump from running in the White House again. Their reasoning is backed on his involvement of the assault on the U.S. Capitol back in 2021. One attorney by the name of Eric Olson stated Trump, quote, summoned the mob and he brought violent rhetoric in his campaigns preceding the attack. However, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment prohibits those who swear an oath to uphold the Constitution and from holding higher office following cases of insurrection. Trump's legal team was there to combat the case, but it is one of 2 cases that could ultimately end up at the Supreme Court. That concludes our show tonight at PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.